Hi everyone, Julie here from Indigo Handmade Design. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I'm so excited to share the Tiffany Crochet top. This gorgeous summer top features a detailed drop of shoulder sleeve. It is breathable and a comfortable fit, perfect for warm weather. This crochet top, it's adjustable for any size and for any kind of yarn you already have in your stash. So grab your yarn and hook and let's get started. And before we get started, go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and leave me a comment for more tutorials like this. Okay, so to make the Tiffany crochet top, I'm going to use Tiffany Lurex. It is from Bernetta. It is 90% viscose and 10% polyester, 50 grams, 150 meter. I'm going to need 6 of these balls. And for tools, I'm going to need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. I'm also going to need my measuring tape, a pair of small scissors, and a yarn needle to weave in loose ends and for the sewing. So this crochet top, it is a made to measure. It is a 4 rows repeat, and I've actually made the back panel, and it has this wavy shell stitch. So you are going to start first by making the band. This is just a single crocheting. So for the band, I've chained 57 to have a total of 56 single crochets. Now this crochet top is for a size small to medium. Now for a larger size you need to chain more. So let me give you some measurements. So the back panel at the bottom measures 41 centimeters in width, and it is 6 centimeters in height. And then I've increased for the wavy shell stitch. You need a multiple of 6 plus 1. So my panel measures in width, let me see. So you know, crochet is also very stretchy. So the width of my panel is 54 centimeters, and the height of the panel is 45 centimeters. Now go ahead and chain the amount of chains that you want. So I'm going to work a small swatch with you. I'm going to use another yarn. So my yarn, it's a category 4 yarns. You can actually use any kind of yarn that you have in your stash. So make a slip knot and then chain the amount of chains that you need to have for the band. So I'm just going to chain a small amount, and once you have your chain done, you are going to start into the second chain from the hook and make a single crochet, and then 1 single crochet in each chain across till the end of the row. For my panel, I've worked a total of 10 single crochet rows. So go ahead and make your single crochet rows as many as you want. So I have 10 in total. So this is the first row, and then you are going to chain 1, turn your work, and make 1 single crochet on top of each single crochet from the previous row. Now go ahead and make first the bottom of the panel. Now for my panel, as I said, I've chained 57 to have a total of 56 single crochets. Then I've worked 10 rows of single crocheting over my 56 single crochets, and then for row 11 I've made a increase row. So the wavy shell stitch is a multiple of 6 plus 1. So I have here 10 single crochets. Now for my panel I've added 23 single crochet in my 11th rows. So I've increased with 23 single crochets to have then a total of 79 stitches. Now I'm going to increase here to have a multiple of 6 plus 1. So to make an increase, you are just going to make 2 stitches in 1 stitch, single crochet 2 in 1 stitch. So I'm going to increase 9 stitches. Now it depends on how wide you want your panel to be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 increases. So I have now a total on my swatch here. I have now a total of 19, which is a multiple of 6 plus 1. Now for the first repeat row, go ahead and chain 1 and make 1 single crochet into the first stitch, and then you are going to skip 2, and in the third stitch you are going to make 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and then you are going to skip 2 stitches and single crochet into the next, and again you are going to repeat this shell stitch. So skip 2 and then 5 double crochets into the next, skip 2 single crochets into the next, skip 2, 5 double crochets into the next, and this is your pattern repeat all the way around for the very first repeat row. Now you are going to end up with 1 single crochet into the last stitch. So you started with 1 single crochet, you are also going to end with 1 single crochet. Now for the second repeat row, you are going to chain 1, turn your work into the first, and into the last stitch we are going to make regular single crochets, and in all of the stitches we are going to make single crochets into the back loop only. So your second row repeat is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch into the back loop only. So repeat all the way down the row. Now for the third repeat row, at the end of the row you are going to chain 3 and turn your work. This counts as a double crochet, and into the same stitch you are going to make 2 more double crochets. Now we are making again the shell stitch, so you are going to skip 2, single crochet into the next, skip 2, 5 double crochets into the next, and this is going to be your pattern repeat all the way for the third row. 1 2 3 4 5, and you are going to end up with 3 double crochets in your very last stitch. So I'm going to meet you here. So this is your very last stitch right here. In there you're going to make 3 double crochets. Now the fourth repeat row, so chain 1 and turn your work, you are going to basically repeat your second row. So this is the front of your work. So 1 regular single crochet into the first stitch, and then go ahead and make 1 single crochet in each stitch into the back loop only. And basically this is it. This is all you need to repeat for as many rows as you want. You can make this crochet top like cropped or longer than mine. So for the back panel I'm going to count only my shell stitch rows. I've made a total of 24 shell stitch rows, and for the front panel I'm going to start the same with my single crochet rows, and then increase my work, and then make the shell stitch pattern for a total of 20 rows. So counting only the shell stitch rows, I'm going to work 20 rows, and then I'm going to split for the neck opening. I want to have a rectangular opening, like a rectangle. So I'm going to work my rows off camera, and then I'll meet you back once I have one side of the shoulder part done, to show you how to create the neck opening and how to work the shoulder section. I forgot to mention at the beginning, you are obviously going to need some stitch markers. So my front panel is almost done. As you can see, I've already made one shoulder part. Now let me give you some measurements. So the shoulder is about 16 centimeters, and so as I said, crochet it's always a little bit stretchy, so I'm going to have obviously on this side also about 16 centimeters, and my neck opening it's going to be about 22 centimeters. So I've worked 20 shell stitch rows in total. I've also made the single crochet row all the way, and then I've counted 3 shell stitch into this last row right here for the orientation, and then I've worked my row to have 4 shell stitches into the next row. So go ahead and take your yarn, make a slip knot, And now I'm going to join with a single crochet, since my next shell stitch row starts with a single crochet. Now you can make your neck opening as wide as you prefer. Then I'm going to skip 2 stitches and make my shell stitch. 2, 3, 4 and 5. So as I told you before, I counted 4 shell stitches, and in my 4th one, into the middle of this one, I want to start the split for the neck opening. Now you are just going to make your 4 rows repeat. So 1, 2, and shell stitch again, and that's it. You don't need to make any decreases, since the neck opening it's going to be like a rectangle. So for my shoulder part, I've worked my 4 repeat rows, and that's it. I fasten off and leave also a long tail for the sewing, or you can join the shoulder part by slip stitching in each stitch, since the back panel has also stitches where you can slip stitch into it. Okay, so I'm going to finish now my second shoulder part off camera, and then I'll meet you back again. So I went ahead and made the shoulder seams and also closed on the sides. So I've made the side seams. I have a arm opening for 18 centimeters, and also created the arm detail for this crochet top. So this is the detailed arm, so that kinds of drops off the shoulder on down your arm. Now let me show you how to create this beautiful drop off shoulder kind of sleeve. Now this portion here, it's worked separately, and then it's going to be sewed on where the arm opening is. So as you can see, here is my arm opening, and this detail here is sewn until here. So take your yarn and your crochet hook, make a ring and pull up a loop, and then you are going to chain 3. This is going to be your first double crochet, and into the magic ring we are going to make 6 double crochets. This is going to be your row 1. So we are going to turn our work each row, so make 6. Now close your magic ring, and you are going to chain 3. This is your first double crochet, turn your work, and for row 2 we are going to make 1 increase in each stitch. So make another double crochet right here at the base of your chain 3, and then go to the next stitch and make 2 double crochets in there, and this is your repeat for row 2. So 2 double crochets in each stitch. For row 3 you are going to chain 3, turn your work, and we are going to make another increase row. So make 1 double crochet in your very first stitch where your chain 3 is, and then continue by making 2 double crochets in each double crochet from the previous row, and this is your repeat for row 3. Row 4, you are going to chain 3. This is your first double crochet, and then make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and now chain 2 and repeat 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, so 1 and 2, and then chain 2, 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and then you will chain 2 and repeat all the way down the row. For row 5, you are going to chain 3. This counts as a double crochet, and now we are going to work only in our 2 chain spaces. So in each of the 2 chain space you are going to make 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and then you are going to chain 2 and 2 more double crochets into the same 2 chain space, and then without chaining go to the next 2 chain space and repeat 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 more double crochets into the same 2 chain space, and repeat all the way down the row 5. At the end of the row you are going to make 1 double crochet on top of your 3rd chain. Row 6, you are going to chain 3, turn your work, and again we are working only in our 2 chain spaces, so you are just going to repeat row 5, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 more double crochets into the same 2 chain space. So repeat all the way down the row 6. For row 7 and row 8 you will have, so we are working only in the 2 chain spaces, okay? So row 7 and row 8 you will have 3 single crochets, chain 2 and 3 more single crochets into the same 2 chain space. So row 7 and row 8, and then for row 9 and row 10 you will have 4 single crochets, chain 2 and 4 single crochets into the same 2 chain space, and you started with a chain 3, which is a double crochet. You are also going to end up with 1 double crochet into the last stitch. So I'm going to finish this off camera and then meet you back again. Now once you've made all of your 10 rows you are going to sew this where your arm opening is, and for this you are going to need first 3 stitch markers, and you are going to place the magic ring right above the shoulder seam. Take a stitch marker and go through the seam and through the magic ring to hold this in place, and then go down the side right where the chain 3 is, so your first double crochet. And I know on the other side I've counted 2 shell stitch rows, so I'm going to go through the single crochet row and here on the side through my 3rd chain, and also on the other side take your stitch marker again. So I'm going to count 2 rows of the shell stitch and then into the single crochet row and through the first stitch And now you can take your yarn needle and your yarn and sew this to close. And then weave in all of your loose ends and you're good to go. Congratulations! You've just finished your very own crochet summer top. I hope you had fun making it. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more crochet projects. I'd love to see your finished tops, so tag me on my social media or drop a comment below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye bye.